All right, so there's a smashing new rule change in Serbia. Very exciting stuff. Now, if you have a permanent residency, once you change status to permanent residency, you can apply for citizenship the very next day. And this is a breaking update. This is very exciting, recent development. I'm going to cover the whole rule. How do you jump to permanent residency? What's the fastest way to have the permanent residency status? And once you have that, there's no wait for citizenship. The very next day, you can launch your application for Serbian citizenship, one of the most powerful up and coming citizenships of modern day. And a lot of expats from US, Canada, and a lot of Western countries are super excited and interested in Serbia because it's not Russia, right? And at the same time, it's that crossroads, right? It gives you that European feel, access, European markets, gives you a lot of flexibility, breathing space. You're not on either of the extremities. You're somewhere in a sweet spot. So that is why Serbia is really up and coming. Access to beautiful markets, right? Young people, safe country, cheap country, and it's up and coming. So you really can't go wrong with Serbia, and that's the reason it's the number one choice. Now, the fastest way to get a residency. First, you need a residency in Serbia. And before I jump into this, if you are not subscribed to this channel, make sure to turn on the subscription because it not only helps this channel grow and helps me get you more valuable information, news breaks, updates, rule changes, but it helps you stay on top of all the changes as they happen. All right, so first step is really jumping on to the residency, right? You want to have some residency so you can convert into permanent residency. The first step is temporary residency. So you have a visa, then you have to switch over to a temporary residency. The three ways you can qualify for temporary residency almost immediately. One is if you're married. Let's say you're not married, there are two other ways. And the two ways are you start a business. So company formation is the simplest way you can start that temporary residency. The second way is you purchase a property of any value, right? Doesn't need to be any specified golden visa style property. It could be any property where you can live, physically live. That triggers the temporary residency. And then to maintain the temporary residency per year, you need at least 50% or more than 50% of the time on the ground. So let's say you're doing 6 months and 1 day, that should be sufficient attachment to the country. There are some exceptions, and we do always discuss exceptions. There's some unique circumstances why you couldn't be in the country. You have some room over that. It has to be worked with attorneys. Our attorneys always can put together documentation to prove your situation if you've hit a genuine circumstances. But let's say you're maintaining the 6 months plus of residency inside of Serbia for 3 years. Okay, so the temporary residency starts on day one. You maintain it for 3 years. And once you hit the third year, you can then apply for permanent residency. Once you get the permanent residency, then there is no wait to citizenship. You can directly apply for citizenship. Now, this is the current snapshot. So this is what is available today. There's another rule that's in the pipeline, which is reducing this from 3 years, shrinking it into 1 year. Okay, now believe it or not, if that happens, then you're talking about actually starting a residency in Serbia and then looking at citizenship after a year. This will be one of the most attractive residency to citizenship processes in the world if this happens. There are a lot of other details associated with this rule, and I'm closely tracking and monitoring the developments with my attorneys in Serbia. So stay tuned, you'll have more information on that. But let's say you want to get started today and you're looking for that European access, you want to have your property in place. Whenever that rule changes, obviously you will qualify under the new criteria. But as of today, you maintain the temporary residency for 3 years. Okay, year 1, year 2, and year 3. Have at least 6 months of presence in every single year, then you're good to go. You don't have to prove any exceptions for that disappearance from the country. You can then easily renew your temporary residency in all those years. And then year 3, you're looking at a very solid citizenship. Now, if you have missed my coverage on that 1 year draft, if you want to get more details, I made a very detailed video covering that whole situation. If you missed it, you can always return and take a look at this video. And at any point in time, if you are interested in starting this residency, as I said, we have attorneys in Serbia, beautiful locations where you can find a good real estate and get started. You can always click the link in the description, book a call with us. We're discussing this with a lot of clients. and we can also sort of narrow down your options, choose the best route, whether it's a business, whether it's a real estate purchase, whatever it is, get that out of the way so you qualify for the temporary residency, and then we can get you started on your status as soon as possible. All right, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, make sure to sub, and catch you in the next one.